Do you hear that voice whispering doubts, stealing your confidence with every word?
Pause and listen. When was the last time you felt truly at peace, your mind free from the relentless hum of self-criticism? Was it a fleeting moment of clarity, a rare breath of self-acceptance, or has it been so long that it feels like a distant dream? Most of us live with this voice as if it's a permanent resident, a harsh judge we've come to accept. But what if this voice isn't you? What if it's a thief, creeping through the corridors of your mind, robbing you of joy, potential, and the life you're meant to live? You're not just doubting yourself, you're being stolen from piece by piece, and it's time to face the intruder. So let me ask you, raw and urgent, do you hear the thief in your mind, and how long will you let it take from you? Here's the brutal, unflinching truth. Your inner critic isn't a part of you. It's a thief, a parasite that feeds on your fears, your past wounds, and the lies you've been told about who you are. Every time it whispers, "You're not good enough, you'll fail," or "You don't deserve this," it's not protecting you, it's paralyzing you, keeping you small, safe, and stuck. You felt it, haven't you? The way it undermines your dreams, the way it amplifies your mistakes, the way it turns every step forward into a stumble. This voice isn't wisdom, it's sabotage, a relic of old fears and societal pressures that have no place in your present. The world didn't plant this thief in your mind. You've let it in, fed it with every unexamined doubt, every moment of self-neglect. Why do you keep hosting a guest that only takes? Consider Sarah, a talented artist who dreamed of showcasing her work, but never did. Every time she picked up a brush, the voice crept in. "It's not original enough. No one will care. You're wasting your time." She listened, and with each whisper, her confidence eroded. Opportunities passed, her portfolio gathered dust, and her passion turned to regret. The thief didn't just steal her art, it stole her purpose, her joy, her sense of self. Sarah's story isn't unique. It's a mirror for anyone who's let the inner critic dictate their worth. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've silenced your voice, every time you've shrunk from a challenge, every time you've let the thief convince you that you're not enough. But Sarah's story doesn't have to be yours. She learned to face the thief, and so can you. The psychology of the inner critic is as insidious as it is common. It's born from a mix of past experiences, criticism from authority figures, societal expectations, personal failures, and it thrives on your unconscious fears. You cling to it because, in a twisted way, it feels safe. It keeps you from risking rejection or failure. But here's the harsh reality. Every time you listen to it without question, you're not avoiding pain. You're inviting it, letting it fester and grow. The thief doesn't protect you. It imprisons you, turning your mind into a battlefield where you're both the attacker and the victim. It's not your ally, it's your adversary, and it's time to stop fighting yourself. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This is the crux of it. Your inner critic isn't fate, it's a habit, a pattern you've let run unchecked. But habits can be broken, and awareness is the first crack in the thief's armor. To silence the critic, you must first learn to hear it clearly, to recognize its voice as separate from your own. This isn't about suppressing or ignoring it. It's about seeing it for what it is, a liar, a distorter, a thief in the night. The stakes are high, and the tension is palpable. Your life is a canvas, but you've been letting the thief paint over your colors with shades of doubt and fear. Every time you've held back, every time you've second-guessed your worth, every time you've let the critic's voice drown out your own, you've been complicit in your own diminishment. But you're not powerless, you're asleep, and it's time to wake up. The thief is loud, but your true voice is stronger, waiting beneath the noise for you to claim it. To begin reclaiming your mind, you must learn the skill of awareness. Start by noticing the critic's voice without judgment. When it speaks, don't fight it, listen. What does it say? When does it speak loudest? Write it down. Keep a journal and record its words. "I'm not smart enough. I'll never succeed. I don't deserve happiness." This act of writing is your first rebellion, a way to externalize the thief and see it for the intruder it is. By naming it, you begin to separate it from your true self. Practice this daily, and you'll start to see patterns, triggers, themes, the lies it repeats. Awareness is your weapon, the kind that cuts through illusion and brings clarity. The urgency is electric, a pulse that demands action. Awareness is your first strike against the thief, a step toward a mind where you, not the critic, hold the reins. Most people won't take this step. They'll stay locked in battle with themselves, their lives a cycle of self-sabotage they mistake for reality. They'll suffer, not because they're weak, but because they're blind to the power they hold to silence the thief. You've been blind too, haven't you? Every time you've let the critic's voice pass as truth. Every time you've let it steer your choices. Every time you've broken because you didn't question. But blindness isn't your fate. You're a warrior, a seeker, a soul that can rise above the noise if you dare to listen. This is your awakening, your chance to reclaim or remain robbed. The path ahead isn't easy. It's a confrontation, a reckoning with the thief that's lived in your mind for too long. But it's a path worth walking, a journey toward a life where your voice, not the critic's, shapes your reality. Think of the times you've suffered, the dreams deferred, the joy withheld, the potential stifled because you listened to the thief. Those aren't losses, they're lessons, pointing to the power you've yet to wield. The critic isn't invincible, it's a shadow, and shadows scatter in the light of awareness. You're still here, still breathing, still holding a spark the thief can't steal. So stop now, right now, and vow to write down one phrase the critic whispers today. Name it, see it, and begin the work of taking back your mind. The journey starts here. Take the first step and let your true voice rise. What if the voice that haunts you most, the one that whispers doubt and scorn, was born not from truth, but from wounds you've carried too long? Pause for a moment and let that sink in. When did you first hear it? Was it a harsh word from a parent, a teacher's cold indifference, or a failure that etched itself into your memory like a scar? That voice, your inner critic, feels like a constant companion, a shadow you've grown used to. But what if it's not who you are? What if it's a relic, a lingering echo of past hurts and unmet needs, chattering away because you've never silenced it? You're not just hearing a critic, you're hearing the past, and it's time to dig into its roots. So, with a quiet urgency, ask yourself, what if this thief in your mind only holds power because you've left those wounds untended? Here's the raw truth. Your inner critic isn't your guardian, it's a leech, thriving on the fears and insecurities you've shoved down deep. It didn't spring up on its own. It took root in the soil of your life. Every stinging remark you swallowed, every impossible standard you couldn't reach, every time you felt invisible or unworthy. You know the feeling, don't you? How it surges when you're exposed, how it mimics the voices of those who once cut you down, how it twists your own thoughts into weapons. This isn't insight, it's injury, a scar that's learned to talk. And the hardest truth, you've kept it alive. Every time you've ignored your pain, every time you've let it fester instead of heal, you've fed it. Why do you nurture something that only pricks you with thorns? Carl Jung put it sharply. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's the core of it. Your critic isn't destiny. It's a reflex, a groove worn deep by the parts of you that lurk in shadow. It speaks because you've allowed it, because you've mistaken its noise for reality, for protection, for some warped sense of direction. But it's not leading you anywhere. It's blocking the path to your own freedom, trapping you in a cage of hesitation. The world didn't craft this critic. It grew from your unhealed pieces. The child who yearned for love, the teenager who chased approval, the adult who dreads rejection. It's not your foe in the classic sense. It's your reflection, distorted by neglect, and it's time to see it for what it is. Take Sarah, a talented artist who never shared her work. Each time she picked up a brush, the critic hissed, "It's not original. People will laugh. You're a fraud." She listened, and her canvases stayed blank. But Sarah's story shifted when she looked back. In therapy, she traced that voice to her youth, her mother's relentless critiques, the pressure to be flawless, the fear of being dismissed. That critic wasn't hers. It was a phantom of her past, still rattling its chains. By naming it, understanding it, and facing it head-on, Sarah began to quiet it. Her first exhibition wasn't perfect, but it was hers, and the critic's grip loosened. You've felt this too, haven't you? Every time you've shrunk back, every time you've bought its lies, every time you've played it safe instead of stepping up. Safety isn't living, it's stalling, and it's time to confront those ghosts. The psychology behind this is as intricate as it is brutal. Your critic often sprouts from early moments, harsh parents, cultural demands, personal stumbles, and it's fueled by biases that warp how you see yourself. Your flaws loom large, your wins fade small, and the critic turns into a prophecy you fulfill. But here's the cold fact. Every time you let it drone on without challenge, you're not just doubting, you're carving the wound deeper, letting it rot and grow. It doesn't safeguard you, it binds you, making your mind a cell where you're both captor and captive. It's not your ally, it's your shackle, and it's time to stop giving it strength. Jung's wisdom lights the way out. urging you to unearth the critic's origins and take back your thoughts. He saw the unconscious as the driver of our lives, and by shining light on it, we can break its hold. Your critic is a shadow, a piece of you that's been ignored, twisted, and left to decay. But shadows can be met, and wounds can mend. To hush the critic, you need to know it, where it started, what it's afraid of, what it craves. This isn't about battling or burying it. It's about care, about soothing the parts of you that still hurt. The stakes hum with tension, a drumbeat in your chest. Your mind's a war zone, and you've been aiming at the wrong target, striking yourself down. Every time you've taken the critic's words as gospel, every time you've let it steer your choices, every time you've ached because you didn't push back, you've tightened your own chains. But you're not powerless, you're alive, and healing is within reach. The critic shouts, but your kindness can shout louder, waiting for you to summon it. Start with self-compassion, a skill as vital as breathing. When the critic snarls, don't swing back, speak to it like a wounded friend. If it growls, you're not enough, say, I'm trying, and that's plenty. If it sneers, you'll flop, reply, failing's just a detour, not a dead end. Write these down, keep them near, wield them like armor. This gentleness is your first medicine, easing the sores the critic picks at. Do it every day, and you'll feel the change, the critic's bite softening, your own voice steadying. Self-compassion is your balm, healing what's cracked and quieting what's false. The air crackles with the weight of it. Self-compassion is your first defiance, a stride toward a mind you command, not the critic. Most won't dare, they'll stay tangled in self-blame, mistaking it for progress, their lives a cycle of hurt from wounds they won't touch. You've lingered there too, haven't you? Every time you've let the critic wound you, every time you've let it choose your road, every time you've crumbled because you didn't mend. But that's not your story's end. You're a mender, a searcher, a spirit that can rise if you tend to your pain. This is your turning point, heal or stay stuck. The road isn't easy, it's a dive into the dark, a reckoning with the roots that feed your critic. But it's a road worth walking, leading to a life where your voice, not its, defines you. Think of the cost of listening, the dreams you've shelved, the happiness you've delayed, the potential you've smothered. Those aren't just losses, they're signposts showing the strength you've yet to claim. The critic's not unbeatable, it's a specter, and specters vanish when you face them with light. Stop now, breathe, and promise yourself one kind response to the critic today. Tend it, heal it, and start unbinding the thief. The path goes on. Take this step and let your real voice rise. What if the voice that drags you down, the one that whispers doubt and insecurity, is nothing more than a liar? Picture this. You're standing face to face with your inner critic, that relentless nag that picks apart your every move, and you suddenly see it for what it is. A fraud, a con artist spinning tales to keep you trapped. Alan Watts, the philosopher who peeled back life's illusions, might have laughed and called it a cosmic joke. A self-made prison you've locked yourself in for far too long. This critic feeds on distortions, half-truths, and shadows, but what if you could shine a light on it, tear it down, and take back your mind with the raw, unshakable power of truth? You're not just wrestling with doubt, you're being tricked, and it's time to call it out. So with a flicker of courage, ask yourself, what if you could stare that critic down and say, you're wrong? Here's the cold, hard truth. Every time you let that inner critic ramble on without a fight, you're giving it power it doesn't deserve. It's not some wise guide or protective shield. It's a distortion machine, twisting your reality into something smaller, weaker, uglier than it is. You've heard its playbook before. One slip-up becomes a disaster, one no becomes proof you're worthless, one worry balloons into a wall of fear. But let's be real, it's not here to save you. It's here to shrink you, thriving on your quiet acceptance, getting louder every time you don't push back. The world didn't put this critic in charge. You did, every time you let its words slide by unchallenged. Why keep kneeling to a voice that only lies? Think about it. How many times has that critic stopped you dead in your tracks? How many dreams have you shelved? How many chances have you skipped? How many times have you bitten your tongue because it convinced you you're not enough? It's a thief, stealing your confidence, your joy, your potential, and it's been getting away with it because you haven't called its bluff. But you can. You have to, because the longer you let it rule, the more it shapes your life into a shadow of what it could be. Take Michael, a writer with a gift he buried for years. Every time he picked up a pen, the critic was there, hissing in his ear. It's garbage. No one cares. You're a fraud. And Michael listened. His stories piled up, unread, gathering dust in drawers while he nodded along to the lies. But then something snapped. One day, he decided he'd had enough. He started fighting back, not with wishful thinking, but with proof. He wrote down every win he could think of, every time someone praised his work, every draft he finished, every reader who'd ever nodded at his words. He stuck that list where he could see it, a shield of truth against the critic's venom. When the voice sneered, he'd jab a finger at the paper and say, "That's a lie, I've done this before." Over time, the critic's claws dulled. Michael's first book didn't top the charts, but it was his, a victory snatched from the jaws of doubt. And the voice, it faded, outmatched by the facts. You've been there too, haven't you? Those moments when the critic's lies felt like gospel, when you shrank back from something big because it convinced you you'd fail. Maybe it was a job you didn't apply for, a conversation you didn't start, a passion you let fizzle out. But Michael's story isn't just his, it's a map. He learned to challenge the critic, and you can too. The question is, are you ready to fight? This isn't just a feel-good pep talk, there's science behind it. Your inner critic is a pro at what psychologists call cognitive distortions. It takes a kernel of truth and blows it out of proportion. One mistake means you're a failure, one flaw means you're broken, one not yet means never. It filters out the good, every win, every strength, every kind word, and zooms in on the bad until that's all you see. It's not protecting you, it's sabotaging you, gaslighting you into believing a warped version of your life. And the kicker? Every time you let it slide, you're not just doubting yourself, you're buying into the distortion, letting it redraw the map of who you are. But here's the flip side, you're not defenseless. You've got the tools to dismantle it. The critic's power comes from running wild, unchecked, but it crumbles when you demand proof. Alan Watts had it right, life's a dance, and you've got to move with it, not cower from it. This is your chance to step into the rhythm, to face the critic with clear eyes and say, "Show me the evidence." Spoiler, it can't, because it's built on quicksand, not stone. The stakes are high, higher than you might realize. Your mind is a battlefield, and right now, the critic's winning because you've been fighting with one arm tied. Every time you've swallowed its words whole, every time you've let it steer your decisions, every time you've hesitated because you didn't question it, you've lost ground. But you're not out of the fight. Truth is your weapon, sharp and steady, ready to cut through the critic's fog. This isn't about pretending the voice doesn't exist or shouting it down with empty affirmations. It's about facing it head-on with the reality of who you are and what you've done. So how do you wield it? Start with evidence-based thinking, a tool as practical as it is powerful. Grab a pen and list your wins. Not vague feel-good stuff, but specifics. Every time you nailed something, every compliment you earned, every moment you proved the critic wrong. Keep it close, on your desk, in your pocket, on your phone. When the critic pipes up with "you can't," pull out your list and hit back. "Yes, I can, here's proof." If it says, "You're a failure," point to the times you succeeded. If it snarls, "You're not enough," tally the ways you've shown up. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a reality check, a way to anchor yourself in what's true. Do it daily, and watch the shift. The critic's roar turning into a whimper, your own voice growing stronger. There's a spark here, a call to action that won't wait. Evidence-based thinking isn't just a trick, it's a rebellion, a middle finger to the lies that have kept you tethered. Most people won't do it. They'll stay stuck, calling their self-doubt humility, their hesitation caution, their shrinking lives just how it is. They'll miss out, not because they're weak, but because they don't see the power they're sitting on. You've shrunk too, haven't you? Every time you let the critic's words stand, every time you let it call the shots, every time you broke under its weight instead of breaking it. But that's not your destiny. You're more than that, a fighter, a seeker, someone who can rise if you choose to challenge. This is your crossroads. Challenge the critic or crumble under it. The road's not smooth. It's a showdown, a reckoning with the distortions that have held you back. But it's a road worth taking, leading to a life where you call the shots, not some phantom voice. Think of what you've lost to it already. The chances you didn't take, the happiness you pushed off, the you that could have been if you'd fought sooner. Those aren't gone. They're fuel, reminders of the strength you've got waiting. The critic's not unbeatable. It's a ghost, and ghosts disappear when you turn on the light. Stop here, right now. Grab that pen, that phone, that scrap of paper, and write down 3 things, 3 achievements, 3 moments, 3 truths that prove the critic wrong. Maybe it's the time you finished something tough, the day someone thanked you, the night you pushed past fear and won. Hold them tight, make them your shield. This is your first swing in the battle, your vow to fight with truth instead of folding to lies. The critic's loud, But your reality's louder. Use it. Let it guide you. The war's on, and it's yours to win. Your life waits on the other side of this voice. Don't let it hold you hostage a minute longer. Imagine a world where every step you take, every word you speak, every dream you chase is free from the critic's shadow, unburdened by its relentless doubt. Can you see it? A life where your voice is clear, your choice is bold, your heart unshackled from the chains of fear. This isn't a distant fantasy. It's the reality you were born for, the one that's been waiting patiently while you've been tangled in the critic's web. But time is slipping, and the moment to break free is now. So, with a fire that won't be ignored, ask yourself, can you live so fiercely that the critic's whisper fades into silence? Here's the brutal truth. Most people will stay trapped by their inner critic, too afraid to challenge it, too comfortable in its familiar sting. They'll let it shape their days, shrink their dreams, and steal their joy, mistaking its voice for wisdom, for caution, for reality. They'll live half-lives, shadows of who they could be, because they never dared to silence the thief in their mind. You've felt its grip too, haven't you? Every time you've hesitated, every time you've played small, every time you've let its lies pass as truth. But you're not most people. You're here, reading this, feeling the pull of something greater. The critic's hold is strong, but your will is stronger if you choose to fight. The stakes are sky high, the urgency a drumbeat in your chest. Your life is a canvas, but you've let the critic smear it with doubt, fear, and hesitation. Every day you wait, every moment you let it rule, you're not just stalling. You're shrinking, letting your potential wither in the shadow of a voice that was never meant to lead. But you're not powerless, you're poised, ready to rise if you'll take the leap. The critic is loud, but your truth is louder, waiting for you to claim it. To silence the critic, you must master conscious choice, the skill of acting in defiance of its whispers. It's not about ignoring it, it's about choosing to move forward anyway. Start each day with one deliberate act. When the critic speaks, pause, acknowledge it, and then do the thing it says you can't. If it tells you you're not ready, take a small step toward your goal. If it says you'll fail, remind yourself of past wins. If it sneers that you're not enough, list the ways you've shown up. Write it down, track your defiance, and watch the critic's power fade. Conscious choice is your weapon, the kind that cuts through fear and reclaims your life. The air crackles with possibility, the urgency of fire in your veins. Conscious choice is your rebellion, a stand against the critic's reign, a step toward a life where you, not it, hold the reins. Most won't rebel, they'll stay small, their lives a cycle of doubt they mistake for fate, their freedom lost to a voice they never challenged. They'll ache, not because they're less, but because they're asleep, blind to the power they hold. You've been asleep too, haven't you? Every time you've let the critic steer, every time you've shrunk from your truth, every time you've broken because you didn't choose. But sleep isn't your name. You're a warrior, a seeker, a soul that can rise if you dare to act. This is your moment. Your life awaits beyond the critic. The path isn't easy. It's a confrontation, a reckoning with the voice that's held you back. But it's a path worth walking, leading to a life where your voice, not its, shapes your reality. Think of what you've lost to it already. The dreams deferred, the joy delayed, the you that could have been. Those aren't gone, they're fuel, reminders of the strength you've yet to wield. The critic's not invincible, it's a shadow, and shadows scatter when you step into the light. Stop now, breathe, and vow to take one act of defiance today. Write it down, do it, and start the journey to a life where the critic's whisper fades to nothing. Your life is waiting, claim it, and let your true voice roar.